Hello, this is my week 4 hands-on learning activity, which combines elements of drama into a math lesson. And this week's math lesson goes over practices of mental math, particularly in the addition of two-digit numbers. I found a great resource by YouTube user Mrs. Blevins, who goes over mental math practices that she teaches to her second and third graders. And I thought this was a great idea for me to use in this lesson plan this week. So my lesson plan starts with the teacher actually going over mental math methods with the students until they pretty much understand the concept, and then the actual game will begin. The teacher will have flashcards for each student, each of them having a random two-digit number written on it. Could either go from the number 10 to the number 99. Then the teacher will have the students sit at the front of the classroom in two chairs. The student in chair 1 is going to have a whiteboard and a dry erase marker. And what they're going to do is come up with something that coincides with the number written on their flashcard. So this particular activity is called house party. So the students are going to come up with an item that they want to bring to the house party, and then the quantity of that item is going to be on their flashcard. And then once both students have identified what items that they brought, the student in chair 1 with the whiteboard is going to use mental math methods to find the sum of those two numbers. So an example of the first exercise could be student in chair 1 would say to the student in chair 2, "Hey, welcome to the house party. What have you brought today?" Student in chair 2 would say, "I've brought 23 slices of pepperoni pizza." Student in chair 1 would respond to the line and then come up with their own item. "Well, that's great. I'm so glad you brought 23 slices of pepperoni pizza. I brought 17 cans of soda." So now that the students have identified both of their numbers, student in chair 1 is going to write down what they heard. So using Mrs. Blevins' concept, they write down the formula to look like this. Following on her concept, they can use one of her two ideas on how to combine the two numbers. So I'm going to use the method that breaks apart the place values. So 23 consists of a 20 and a 3. 17 consists of a 10 and a 7. 20 and 10 is 30. 7 and 3 is 10. 30 and 10 is 40. So the student's whiteboard can absolutely look something like this. They are allowed to use this formula to come up with their method for mental math. They just aren't able to do it in the traditional method where both digits are stacked on top, one under the other. So the students are encouraged to be creative. If one student decides, "I've brought 57 tigers to the party," then the other student would have to come up with a response to that. 23 tigers? Oh my gosh. Well, I hope they don't eat all of my 47 donuts. Something silly like that. It's a fun activity for the kids. I think that they can have a lot of fun using their imagination, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.